Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this educational video titled Eligible Businesses, Section 1202, QSBS. My name is Brady Weller, co-founder of QSBSrollover.com, and these videos are meant to be very simple, high-level primers on QSBS, QSBS rollovers, and some of the things to look out for and understand if you own qualified small business stock. Like I said, today we're briefly covering the types of businesses that can and cannot issue qualified small business stock. If you need an overview of what QSBS is, check out our video, What is QSBS, which will be linked down in the description. One of the tricky things about Section 1202 in the Internal Revenue Code is that the guidance that the statute gives on what types of businesses qualify to issue QSBS is all stated in the negative. What I mean is that instead of telling you all the types of businesses and business activities that are good to go for QSBS purposes, they instead just provide a list of excluded business and trade categories. And what that means is that instead of skimming through the list and seeing consumer SaaS and saying, hey, that's us, we're good to go, you have to do a bit more discerning on what fits and doesn't fit the rules. So I'll read through the list of excluded categories as they're listed in Section 1202. So Section 1202 says that businesses performing services in the fields of health, law, engineering, architecture, accounting, actuarial science, performing arts, consulting, athletics, financial services, brokerage services, or any trade or business where the principal asset of the trade or business is the reputation or skill of one or more employee, like content creators or YouTube channels, any banking, insurance, financing, leasing, investing, or similar businesses, any farming businesses, and any business operating a hotel, motel, restaurant, or similar would all be excluded and unable to issue qualified small business stock. That's a pretty long list, and really the tricky part is that the language paints with what seems like a really broad brush. The list doesn't mean that any businesses that serve the healthcare space, though, for instance, or the insurance ecosystem are automatically unqualified. What we know is that the IRS is generally looking to exclude businesses where the primary business value comes from selling hours, human expertise, or selling direct advice for a fee. But if you're creating a physical product, software, infrastructure, or providing a niche service that serves one of these industries on the excluded list, you're actually probably good to go. So let's stay with healthcare just as an example. If you open a medical practice where doctors see patients, maybe diagnose and bill for their time, you're most often going to be categorized as performing services in the field of health, and typically you're just not going to be able to issue QSBS even if you meet the other requirements. But if you build a web app or design a digital platform that helps doctors manage their patient records and you sell that as a digital product, or if you manufacture a new medical device, a physical medical device, you aren't selling health services under these rules, you're selling a technology asset or a physical product, and that would generally be qualified activity for these QSBS tests. We have a few public records, or I guess data points on the IRS commenting on trade or business categories, and in general, they've been very progressive in interpreting the categories in a less restrictive way than you might initially think from just reading the excluded category rules. Like, for instance, we have record from private letter rulings of companies that participate in the retail sale of pharmaceuticals, one that builds software to optimize medical treatments, and another a pure play medical device company, all of which the IRS maintained that the eligible business criteria were satisfied and that those businesses don't actually fit in the excluded categories. This ultimately means that there are a whole host of businesses that meet QSBS requirements. And in fact, our team estimates that more than 95% of venture-backed companies meet the QSBS qualified trade or business rules. I've listed a few categories on the screen to give you an idea of sectors that should be really smooth sailing for QSBS eligibility, and they include technology, SaaS businesses, for instance, applications, manufacturing businesses, retail and e-com, energy, logistics and transportation, CPG brands, search funds, even if they're well documented and executed, and there are plenty of more that we're not listing here. Ultimately, the point is that every business is unique, and the lines here aren't always black and white. So make sure you do your diligence and talk to the right professionals if you believe that your business lives in some kind of QSBS gray area. You may also have a branch of your business that seems to be excluded from QSBS treatment. So like one of the types of activities that you do. So really take the time to understand your entire business and how it fits into these QSBS rules to see if you could qualify for that qualified small business stock eligibility. Of course, we'd be happy to review your QSBS situation. And if you have a stock sale on the horizon, we'd be glad to talk to you about QSBS rollovers as well. Feel free to contact us at QSBSrollover.com or reach out to me directly at Brady, Brady, at QSBSrollover.com. Again, QSBS is all we do, so reach out with any questions. And thank you for tuning in.